And here we go. Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your loving host, Shorty. And today we're doing something from Behemoth Comics, which is, on the surface, the closest they've come to doing something which I would consider to be more a traditional comic book for them. And it's REDMAN, from the creators of Ultraman, which strikes me very much as, well, this is going to be a big kaiju comic book then. And I've got to be honest, that put me off a little bit. I'm not a big fan of the genre in either comic book or the medium. I find them entertaining enough, but kind of thin, if you get what I mean. There's not much depth to them. I always kind of know what I'm going to get. And sometimes they look spectacular while they're doing what I know they're going to do. But because I don't really get any surprises from them, I don't see anything I don't expect, I can kind of watch them and then instantly forget about them. But I trust Behemoth. And Happy Tank in particular have done some great stuff and like some really out there things, both in terms of artwork and delivery and everything. But when I flicked through it on delivery day on Tuesday when it arrived, I was again thinking this looks kind of standard. And I mean, that's a bad thing. I mean, if you look at some of this artwork, it is kind of beautiful, but it is also, it's kaiju battles. It's looking exactly like what I expected to. It's a big guy in a fake robot costume fighting some monster that might be a guy in a monster costume. But it actually does something better than all of that. And it's kind of a spoiler. So if you're thinking you want to read this for yourself, I totally understand. You can disappear now and I'll take no offense. But it's not really a massive spoiler. It's literally the first thing you get. We are talking, you open up the comic book, you get some credits, turn the page, and then there is some text there. I moved that off quickly because, yeah, you should read this at home when you buy it yourself. But effectively tells you that this is actually a kind of comic book version of a TV show, which was on in Japan, I think, in the 1970s, which everyone just kind of assumed was another kaiju TV series. Now, it'd be really easy for me to just go online and done some research and be like, yeah, okay, this is just them using it as a conceit. In my head, like my headcanon now is I want this REDMAN TV show to be a thing that actually existed, like on some kind of weird regional public access cable channel thing that like nobody was really following, but it was out there. And the creators of the comic book found it and were like, damn, would be really cool if you actually make this more than it is. Because what they do is say that this TV show wasn't made for TV. It was broadcast from somewhere, nobody knew where, and it turns out we weren't the actual audience for it. There is something else going on. Instantly, that's intriguing. Instantly, that is having more fun with the kaiju giant robot genre than anything I've ever seen before. It makes me think there's more going on here. It's actually having a layer of mystery and intrigue in a way which, okay, caveat, I've said I don't particularly get into the genre that much. That means it could be that there's dozens of kaiju movies and TV shows out there with real intricate plot lines and granular relationships between different factions. It could be that there's a huge untapped well of stuff out there which I'm just not aware of. But for me, this is the first time I've seen somebody try to do something bigger and more important than just giant monster fighting giant robot. And it does have not only like the interest that I want to actually find out what's going on, I want to know what actually the point of this comic book is, but it also kind of limits itself in an interesting way. If you look at comic book versions, or at least actually not just comic book versions, modern movie and TV versions of things like even Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or Godzilla, they don't have to be limited by what they can get off as a guy in a costume. Computer generated artwork and comic book artwork, you can effectively make the monsters look however much you want to. You're limited by imagination and technology, and in comic books, literally just imagination. But they've set this one up as being it was a TV show in the 70s. So no matter what they do, it has to, in some way, look like it would have been absolutely acceptable to be a TV show in the 70s. This is challenging artwork, but it managed it really effectively. They have fun with it by having like the kind of detail on the monsters and the guy in the costume that an old 1970s cathode ray TV would never have picked up that level of detail. It would have just looked like a guy in a costume. I suppose not a schlubby guy, but not really a ripped guy either. It's just like a standard dude that probably would have just been told to wear a costume and go to town on this monster. And that works. It actually does add a little bit to it. It means you're looking for the telltale signs. You're wondering if you'd have been taken in by it. It puts you in a position of, if I was a kid in the 70s watching this show, would I have thought there's something else going on here? Would I have bought into the conceit that maybe this is real? Maybe there are giant monsters out there somewhere and the Redman needs to fight them. And I like that. I really do. I'm certainly going to check out issue 2, and I'm going to hope it's going to keep up being this interesting and this exciting. That's it for me today, though. I'm going to come back tomorrow with one more review this week. Until then, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.